Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial, and today we will finally do Pew Research. Okay, we will have a short editorial on Pew Research. Reason being, A, it's a stale topic. B, but I have to tell you this because I have got something that I want to talk to you about Pew Research, because I do not agree to the analysis of this particular research. So I want to give you my point of view. And I know most of the things that certain parts of Europe is very favorable to India, certain parts of Europe is not, America is favorable to India, all that major jazz and all, you know about it. So I'm not going to dwell into all that. I'm going to get directly into the point, and I will tell you where I beg to differ with this particular research. Let's get right into the show. See, ऐसा है ना, this research has come out right out before the G20 Summit in India. ठीक है ना? So therefore, I am not saying that the research is biased or this research is a conspiracy to help India, to create an image for India and all that. I will not say all that. While a lot of people, if the research was wrong, if this research had said that India is not doing too well, a lot of people in India, including possibly the government, would have said, "Oh, this is foreign conspiracy. This is international conspiracy. There would be some international businessman who is involved in this." So that is the way it would have been otherwise seen. But the fact is this, at least the headlines of it looks to be in favor of India. So this research is good, is how we have seen it. But I have a point of view. And that point of view is as follows. First of all, this research says that the globe views India favorably. I do not necessarily agree to that. Because what does it mean when you say the world views India favorably? It means that the world was not viewing India favorably yesterday, but it is viewing India favorably today. So versus yesterday, India is being viewed favorably today. That I don't think is the case. Number one. Number two is the biggest thing about this research that I took home is the fact that our perception about ourselves and the reality are two different things. When I spoke to you about numbers a couple of days back, which I had very few viewers, because obviously such topics do not get much viewers, but all the same, when I spoke to you about numbers in my editorial called Numbers Don't Lie, I said the difference between, the good thing about numbers is numbers gives you the difference between the perception and the reality. And this number, to my mind, has given us the difference between the perception and the reality. That is also something that nobody is really speaking about. And secondly, this concept of we are viewed favorably. In certain places, actually, this concept is not gelling. So let's first talk about what exactly do I mean by perception and reality. You see, if you go by this same Pew Research, Indians, we sitting in India, think that we are getting stronger. 68% of our people think that our influence over the world is getting stronger. 68% of people think. 19% of the people say that it is about the same. Kuch bada nahi hai, kuch ghata nahi hai. It is almost the same. It is the same as what it was before. It is the same. And 13% says it is getting weaker. ठीक है ना? This is what India feels. We feel, the 68% of us feel that our influence is getting stronger. Okay, 68%. Now let me come to the reality, which means what the world is seeing us. In fact, this is the median of 19 countries. 19 countries out of the 23 countries which they have, 23 plus 1, that is India, 23 countries they have researched. 19 countries median is only 28% of this 19 countries feel that our influence has grown. 48% says that we were where we were. जो पहला था आज भी वही है. Grow हो नहीं हुआ है. It is the same as what it was before. And 13%, which actually matches with our own perception, 13% says that we have gone weaker. अरे which means that there is a definite difference between what we perceive about ourselves and our international influence and all that, and what internationally people perceive ourselves. Now, if this is taken as the base, then let me go on to their other research, where they say that UK 44% do not favor us but 51% are favorable to India. Canada 34% do not favor us but 47% are favorable to India. UK where 30% do not favor us but 66% favors India. Italy 38% do not favor us, 52% favors India. Germany 38% not favorable but 47% favorable to India. Poland 33% not favorable but 46% favorable to India. Spain 49%, 34% favorable to India, where we are lesser. Japan again 34, 55. Israel 20% not favorable, 71% favorable to India. That's one of the largest after UK. So when you look at this and you juxtapose this median, means what? Means it is not that the country is all of a sudden favoring India in the last 10 years. The countries which look at India favorably, in their minds, India is same. We were favorable before, we are favorable now. Because that's what Pew Research, this particular research itself says, which nobody is comparing. I like this pen. I liked this pen yesterday. I like this pen today. Now, if there is a research today and if you ask me whether I like this pen, I will say yes, I like this pen. What the derivation of this research is that my likeness for this pen has not changed. It has remained the same. I liked it yesterday, I liked it today. Correct? The difference only will be that if I didn't like this yesterday, but today I say, no, today, now I like this pen. Then the understanding of the research should be that now we are favorable. The point that I am trying to make is we were favorable yesterday and we are favorable today. Again, I am telling you, the reason I say this is because bulk of the world said that, listen, we are the same. Our influence is the same, which means that there is nothing much difference in our status as favorable or unfavorable. And that's precisely what my deduction is based on what the Globe said about has our influence grown more? Globe says no. 28% believe it has gone more. 48%, which is the majority, says no, and 13 says no, it has come down. So majority of people believe it is the same or it has come down. Only a small minority believes that it has grown. And here we are saying that the world is viewing us favorably. Logic nahi baithta hai. The logic, I think, somewhere is going haywire. That's the point I wanted to make. Number one. Number two, let's compare our views of India over time. Views about countries of India over time. Now, in this particular graph, they don't have all the countries. They have only very few countries. And let us go through these countries. Now, France, in 2007, favorable was 70%. In 2007, favorable was 70%, and in 2007, unfavorable was 29%. Please see it in your screen. Favorable 70%, non-favorable 29%. Today, favorable is 39%, non-favorable also 39%. This is also Pew Research. Okay, this is how views of India have changed over time, is what their section is, and what they say is views of India have been measured before in some of the countries surveyed this year. Across these selected countries, views of India have generally become more negative since the question was last asked. You are just saying that India's views are favorable, has been favorable, and now this is different. Now let us go to Spain. Spain in 2007, favorable was 48%. Non-favorable was 34%. Now, non-favorable is 49%. That is 2023. Non-favorable is 49% and favorable is 34%. Favorable hua ki kam hua hai? Has it grown or has it come less? Let's go to Brazil. In 2015, favorable was 47%. Non-favorable was 40%. Now, non-favorable is 43% and favorable is 33%. Bada ki kam hua? Germany. favorable was 60% in 2007, non-favorable was 29. Now it is still favorable, but the graph has come down from 60% to 47%. Today, favorable is 47%, non-favorable is 38%. Has the graph gone up or come down? Let us talk about Poland. Favorable was 59% in 2007 and the favorable now is 46%. In fact, non-favorable was 20% in 2007. Now the non-favorable has gone to 33%. Favorable bada ki kam hua. Indonesia, favorable was 74% in 2007. Today the favorable is 45%. Non-favorable was 15% in 2007 and 2023 non-favorable is 29%. Okay, let's go to South Korea. 59%, 58% was earlier on favorable was 59%. Now the favorable has gone down by 1%, but it has gone down to 58%, and non-favorable has gone up from 24%. It has gone up to 34%. Okay, let's take Mexico. Same, 37, 33, 27, 42. By all these countries, the graph has come down. The graph has come down. Yet overall, we say that, listen, you know what, India has been looked at favorably. Overall, it is made to look as if our influence in the world has grown, wherein it is very clear, the global median says that no, our influence has not grown. Our influence has not grown. 48%, like I told you, says it has remained the same. So this is one of the things that I wanted to get to your notice, because I thought that the narrative that was being spread was not really correct. It was not reading this research right. Okay, if you have to read a research, you have to read it in its totality. Okay, that's number one. Number two is, I don't think headlines make the analysis of a research. I don't think you should go by the headlines. I think each parameters of the research makes the analysis of the research. So if you look at these parameters, then the view is slightly different to what it is made to look like. Now, there is only one more thing that I want to take you through. That is Indians view Modi and other national leaders. Now, the four people that they have chosen are Modi, Gandhi, which I think is Rahul Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge and Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. Four people. Now, I don't know how Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary and Mallikarjun Kharge currently fits into this scenario. So, per se, I don't know how the question was asked. Was the question that out of these four people, who would you choose as the Prime Minister? Was that the question? Because then the derivation is different. Was the question that how do you like Narendra Modi? Then how do you like this? Then how do you like Kharge? Then how do you like Chaudhary? Then the derivation is different. Or you ask the people that who are the four top people you think are ideally suited as Prime Minister of India. The derivation is different. The analysis is different. So I really don't know how this analysis has happened, but according to this analysis, they say that Modi, somewhat 20% says Modi is unfavorable, somewhat 24% says Modi is somewhat favorable, and 55% says very favorable. So 79% says Modi is very favorable, 34% says Gandhi is somewhat unfavorable, 36% says somewhat favorable, and 26% says somewhat very favorable. So 62% overall says favorable. Kharge, again, 31% says somewhat unfavorable, 33% says somewhat favorable, and 13% says very favorable. Chaudhary, 30% says unfavorable, 31% says somewhat favorable, and 11% says very favorable. So 42% says favorable. Now I'll tell you my problem. As an Indian, whatever little politics I understand and whatever little fellow Indians that I understand, I refuse to believe this research where 62% favorability for Rahul Gandhi and for 42% favorability for Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. With all due respects to Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, I don't even think 42% of India knows who Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is. So getting this kind of a figure, I find that pretty odd. While I agree to the fact, overall, yes, Modi of course tops the list in favorite list. There is no question about it. I have no doubt in my mind. Whether that figure is 79%, 80% and all, that's something that I may want to, that's something that I may not completely agree, which means out of 8 out of 10% agrees that Modi is the most favored politician. I may not agree to that particular figure, but Modi being number 1 in the favorite list, I do agree to that. Rahul Gandhi being number 2 in the favorite list, I agree to that. But Kharge coming as 3rd, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary coming as 4th, well, that's something I do not know. I don't agree, because I don't see why Mamata Banerjee's name doesn't figure in. I don't see why Arvind Kejriwal's name doesn't figure in, and I don't see why such other names don't figure in. I don't see why Stalin's name don't figure in then. I don't see why Uddhav Thackeray's name don't figure in. Then I don't see why these names also don't figure in. So yeah, I mean, here I have a problem. So that talks about the Indian views of Modi and other national leaders. This is another point of view that I had. And if the answer to this is, or if somebody wants to write to this saying that, okay, it could have been just a research where you say that, do you think he's a good leader? And they say yes, and 62%, well, then it's not a research. Then it's some kind of a dipstick survey that happens in nook and corner, of this country, which has no then this entire research has no relevance. So that's the point I wanted to make. That's my 2 bits about Pew Research. Till I see you next time. That's tomorrow at 9 p.m. for my opinion. Namaskar.